We've known each other for years. Fought together, bled together, been through the hell of Vietnam together. We got a job to do.
And now the training's complete. Just need to give the subject a name.
Ooh, welcome everybody to today's chat with the Onion himself. Frank Woods, aka Damon, D.Allen, two D.Allens going head to head. How are you all today? This is one I know a lot of people have been looking forward to. It's an exclusive interview. Damon's first interview with anyone on YouTube. We've done it again, boys and girls. We had Gavin, Dre, who obviously played Male V. We got the exclusive with him. We got the exclusive with Judy, Carla, just the other day. And your boy has got you another exclusive. I hope you're doing well, guys. Who have we got in here today? Drew Rice, what an intro. Man, I love that intro. I've got a bit of updating to do, actually, on that intro. So next time you see it, it's going to be even better. Don't you worry. Who's in here? Who cares, of course. An absolute legend himself. Danny DeVito. Is that what they call me now, hey? Peyton, how you doing? AO Gaming. Awesome. Strange man. You look like hammered shit. Usually, if someone said that, I would be offended. Not in this case. If you know, you know. Garrett Jones, it's Raw. How you doing, guys? Ohio Skateboard. Red Dead and COD are my best. Changed my mind. Didn't think you'd be able to get him. I know, man. Me either. I didn't think we'd be able to get him, but here we are. We've pulled through. Michael Vsauce. I'm here for you, Dan. I love you, Michael. Thank you, man. You're the one person here for me and not Damon, hey? No. Thank you, guys. Oh, I know, yeah. Gamer Girl Insight, how you doing? The Boss ID. How are you, brother? Judy was amazing. Vinthy, you liked it? I appreciate it. Love the Aussie stream, Garrett. Thank you. Sean, I'm doing really well, man. How are you? Adamfsk. Is that how you say it? AdanFX. Yeah. You love my videos? Well, I love you. Dan, can you get Chris J. Alex? Actually been in talks with him. I have been in talks with Chris. So we might make that happen, eh? Yeah, James doing well. How are you, James? Spencer? Mate, Dan is like Game 6. Clay Thompson always comes up with the clutch, Dylan. Very good. Very good, brother. Yeah, just got that. We were 2 down. I hit the 3 with Damon right at the end. And here we are. Toby, good to see you again. Yeah, it's exclusive. Look up Damon D.Allen interview. Right, look it up right now. And you tell me how many you find. Shadow, how's my day? It actually just started. It is 7 a.m. here in Australia. Woke up at 6, freshened up, and here we are. How's your day going? I'm an onion, Dan. You should know that. Goddamn onion, Mason. You should know that. Jacob Hendricks actor, Christian. Yeah, I'd like to get from Call of Duty Ghosts, Rourke. Who plays Rourke? I'd like to get him on. Fab, you are so cool. No, you are so cool. Strange man, I'm good, man. How are you? I want you to stream Cold War, mate. Hey guys, how's this? Me and Lily Cowles. We are working on something you're going to love. Obviously, she plays Helen Park. We might do another live stream together. I think it'll be a lot of fun. What do you reckon? Check out her latest IG video to get a little sneak peek of what's happening there. I'm looking forward to doing something with her again, though. She was awesome. One of my favorite guests. Bro rocking the beard hard. Yeah, needs a bit of a clean-up, I reckon. Alex been smashing it with the interviews. Rob was so good to watch. Nice to have Woods. Alex, thank you, man. I really hope you enjoy this one. He's ready to go. Damon's in here. Just Vincent, thank you. James, Billy Murray. Billy Murray's a little bit old, I think. Unfortunately, that might be a no-go. Traveller, thank you, brother. Daddy Dan. Alright. Guys, Damon's here. Why don't we get this kicked off? I hope you enjoy it. And I'll see you on the other side, hey? I'm remembering these names. If I see you at the end, then I love you. Here we go. Let's do this. Let's do this. Knife the watermelon. Damon, can you hear me, brother? Oh, we're still connecting. We're still connecting. Damon, can you hear me, brother? I can see you. I can't hear you, brother. Can you hear me? Nah. Can't hear. Go the mute symbol and then select microphone. You know. Why am I telling you? You know. That's all right. We got some technical difficulties, guys. He'll fix it up. He's looking good, I know. Okay, settle down with the onions. I can't. I'll let you know when I can hear you, mate. If you can hear me. I don't know if you can hear me. Love the t-shirt. The Rolling Stones, yeah. No, I haven't got you. I got it. This is Zoom, everybody. This is what happens. Can you try just the computer set? What could it be? I don't know. What could it be? He looks like an onion. Jason, no, he doesn't look like an onion. He looks like a very good-looking man. Yeah, it's not me. I'm testing. Shit. Maybe leave and rejoin? Damon? Maybe leave and rejoin? I know, that is a dope t-shirt. I love the Rolling Stones. Painted Black, 100%. I mean, that's a Call of Duty song, Painted Black. Kevin Gage is rock. Hey, I heard something.
Dude, you hear me?
I can hear you.
You can't hear me or you can?
I can, but I can hear myself.
Okay. Hang on.
I got you now, though, brother.
See if I can get this mic. See if I get this mic hooked up. Jeez.
How are you, by the way? We are live, so we can just troubleshoot on the way. How are you, brother?
I'm doing great, man.
Yeah?
Got up, had a run, had a little workout.
Oh, nice. Nah, you're gone now. We had you there for a sec. It's these professional mics, eh? They get you. There you go. You're back.
I'm back.
Yep, I got you now.
Got me? How are we doing this here? You set up? Right on, man.
I love that shirt, brother.
I got you. Cool. Thank you, man. It's from 1981.
1981, like actually made back then as well.
Yeah, my old guitar player, one of my band's old guitar player, he grew out of it. And years ago, we were on the road. He grew out of it. He's like, dude, I got this shirt. I can't wear it. You need to wear it. But, yeah, it's killer.
I love it.
I don't know if you see the...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
I've been tempted to slice it in half. Right?
Yeah.
On the wall, frame it on a wall.
Yeah.
Side, backside. I haven't done it, but
what, like with a vinyl next to it or something, like a record?
Oh, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, I've been working out a lot lately. Lost a lot of weight, so I'm back in shape, so I can wear it again.
I was gonna say, yeah, you're looking pretty fit there, mate. You look like you could do a marathon.
Well, I have been running almost every day.
And you got your signature hat on. Every time I see you got that hat on, what makes you love wearing that hat? Is it just a part of you, or what?
Yeah, well, if I show you over here, I've got over 50 hats.
Really?
And as far as fedoras like this, I probably have 9 or 10. So depending on my mood, I got a nice dress blue one.
Yep.
I think I wore that on the last little live thing I did, and this is an old beater brown one, man. This is a standby.
Okay, so this one means you're in a good mood, yeah?
Oh well, yeah. I rock no hats. Sometimes.
Yeah.
Newsboy caps a little bit, but I've always been accustomed to wearing hats since I don't know, years. Years and years.
I don't know anyone with 50 hats, so there you go. We've learned something new already.
Yeah, I'm not sure it's healthy, but I'm the same way. I'm pretty much the same way with shoes. I love shoes. Yeah. I love leather boots.
Oh yeah.
I like leather motorcycle jackets. So those are things that I kind of collect.
Well, we've got something in common as well. We're both D.Allens. I mean, come on.
That's funny, man. I was going to say, we're long lost cousins. I think your Aunt Peggy goes back to my grandmother, Mimi Allen, from Kentucky, back in the day. So
you reckon? Yeah. There's a few of us around, a few Allens, but
Allen's a pretty common name. And one of my best, other than motorcycling, I play a lot of golf. Which I probably don't look like the average golfer to you, right?
Well, so do I, mate. I play as well.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Well, one of my best mates, his name is Danny Allen.
Oh.
And our nickname for each other is our nickname for each other is we call each other Cuz constantly. Cuz, what's up, Cuz? What's up, Cuz? And we always play together, and everybody at our golf club thinks we're related. But yeah, it's funny, man.
Where are you based out of?
I'm in Los Angeles now.
Yeah, you are. Yeah. How are the courses over there?
Gorgeous. I played yesterday, and course is pristine. Really thick rough. Greens were rolling really fast. The true fairways cut down nice. Well, they just had the Pasadena City tournament this weekend, so they usually get the course in really good shape for that. And I play in a skins game a couple days a week.
Oh, nice.
Now it's 1 day a week because I'm trying to hustle work Monday through Friday. So, I got to hustle work. That's the most important thing.
Yeah.
But I'm playing in the Sunday skins. I took some time off, but
it's good to get out there.
I'm getting it back.
It's good.
What's your handicap?
I'm at 10 at the moment. What are you?
I'm a 7 at the moment.
Okay, you got me beat.
But I took the last 2 months off because I had some things going on. I was having some anxiety issues, and so I took a couple of months off. So the last 3 times out haven't been great. Like I went out and shot 100. I mean, I shot 100. I can't tell you how many years I shot 100. Then I went out like 2 days later and shot a 95. Yesterday I went out, I practiced, I hit some balls. Yesterday I went out, didn't play well on the front, shot a 45, but the back I shaped it up. I shot 39 on the back.
That's crazy because 100 for a 7 handicap is pretty bad.
Oh,
pretty bad.
You could just imagine the frustration, right?
Yeah.
Imagine my frustration. I was just like, but you can't expect. It's not like riding a bike. You don't just get on and do it. Golf, man.
No, you got to keep consistent.
It's all about rhythm, man. Like playing drums, all about rhythm. If you're not in the pocket, you're not taking that club back slow, getting a full turn with your hips and getting through it. You're spraying the ball, man. And putting in the short game goes real quick. And so putting's one of my strongest, that's one of the strongest parts of my game. And I'm used to 1 putting and 2 putting, man. I was leaving shit 10 feet short, hitting stuff 10 feet by. So it was really frustrating. But the back 9, I'm happy with my back 9 yesterday, so I'm back.
So do you ever get the woods chatter out, the battle chatter out when you're frustrated on the course?
No, I'll have buddies, request it,
Oh, really?
But it's not. The golfers I play with, man. They don't. They know I'm in this. They know I'm in this video game, but they're not gamers, so they have no idea. They're like, so what's this thing you're doing again? You're in a movie? I'm like, no, man, it's not a movie. It's a video game. They're like, so you do a voice for it? I'm like, yep. And I also do like performance capture, motion capture. They're like, what the hell is that? They have no idea.
It's a pretty big deal. You gotta hype it up to them. So was this your first performance capture for Woods? First game?
This is my first performance capture, motion capture. In the past, I've done some. I did do a couple of games.
Oh, you did?
Kind of off the non-union and off the books, little small games, just like various voices. And a few years back, I did an Assassin's Creed.
You did?
Yeah, and I.
Which one?
I did. It was Assassin's Creed 3.
Oh, wow.
And I don't know. Did they ever release that? Because I know they released several titles, but I don't know if they ever released Assassin's Creed 3.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
So I did some various voices in there. Basically, the usual, getting shot with arrows, falling off buildings, yelling. And I voiced this character as an 18-year-old kid called Sinan. And he was kind of a Middle Eastern kid. He wanted to be an architect. So, that voice was kind of like, he had big dreams of building bridges and churches. And he was all into architecture, something like that. I have a terrible Middle Eastern accent, but for whatever they had me do it. So yeah, other than a couple of small games, Assassin's Creed, yeah, this Call of Duty was the first big, game. And
Did you know how big it is though when you signed in?
Do I?
No, when you first got the gig.
No, hell no. No idea. Plus, you don't. you don't know
Yeah.
who you don't know what you're auditioning for, you know?
No.
I mean, I grew up, I don't know if you want any backstory, but
Yeah.
I grew up I grew up in Atlanta, Georgia, in this small town just south of Atlanta called Peachtree City. It's like a planned community, golf courses, lakes to fish in. My mom sold real estate. My dad was an airline pilot. I had a sister, my sister Denise, who was 8 years older than me. She was kind of like my second mom because my dad was a pilot. At the time we could fly for free so my parents were always traveling, and so since my sister was 8 years older than me, she was left to babysit. So I grew up quick. I grew up quick because she was 8 years old. A, she broke my parents in, and B, my sister was corrupting me at a young age. I mean, first concert I went to, she took me to see Kiss when I was 6 years old. I remember that fucking. I remember that blowing my mind.
That would have fucking rocked. Come on.
I was watching Gene Simmons blow fire, 10, 15 feet. He's squeezing on these gel packs, blood spitting out of his mouth. He's wearing these boots. Him and Paul Stanley wearing these boots. So that was my growing up. That was my first Halloween character. I was Kiss every year, and I had a hockey stick. I'd turn upside down, and I used the hockey stick as my guitar to walk around and trick or treat.
Oh, that's awesome.
But I grew up just south of Atlanta, and started playing drums at an early age. I got my first drum set. My parents got me a drum set when I was like 3 or 4. Just a kid set, paper heads and stuff. And I guess I was so aggressive, man. I tore that thing up. I stabbed holes in all the heads. I just tore it up. It lasted about 4 or 5 days. After that, my Uncle Tony, my dad's younger brother, he was a professional drummer in Atlanta. And he gave me one of his drum sets when I was in 3rd grade. And it was an old 70s Ludwig, John Bonham from Zeppelin, a Bonham type kit. So I set that thing up in my room and had a great stereo system. And I just play along to 96 Rock all day. Anything that was on, I mean, you name it, dude. I was playing Allman Brothers, Rolling Stones, AC/DC, Marvin Gaye, Beatles, Stevie Wonder, Top 10.
It's my favorite type of music as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how I kind of learned by ear.
Really? You didn't have lessons?
Well, no lessons. I was in the band. I was in the band for a little while in school, in middle school. And when I got to junior high, it was I guess there was too much structure for me, and I was into rock and roll, and I didn't want to practice my paradiddles, and I definitely didn't want to march and wear some goofy, uniform. That's just kind of where I was.
Yeah.
So I just listened along, and I learned to play drums by ear. So, I wasn't much of a student. I didn't care for studying. Early math came easy to me, and then when I moved on to middle school, I had my first band, 3 of us in 6th grade. And then my first real band I started in high school, a buddy of mine named Aaron Beavers. And that's the guy that I wound up getting a record deal with in a band called Sherman years later. So yeah, we started a band called Freight Ends, and we played everything. We played a bunch of covers, a bunch of U2, and we got into heavier stuff like Metallica and Anthrax. And of course, playing Tom Petty, stuff like that. But so we had that in high school, and I was interested in plays and acting from a young age too. I mean, I was doing plays in kindergarten, little stuff. But then in high school, I had this buddy of mine, Eric Smith, he was into videography. He was kind of like he was into directing, and he was in the theater program. And him and I were really tight. We used to watch movies together, after school. We'd watch Breakfast Club, Weird Science, Fast Times at Ridgemont High. all the classics.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so he kind of got me. He kind of got me back. He kind of got me into like serious acting in high school. But
okay.
the worry he had, and the my drama teacher had. You know, I was so hyperactive and out of control. I couldn't sit still. They were worried about me, you know, being able to memorize all these lines. So every time I passed my buddy Eric in the hall, he'd be like, "Yo, act 2 lines are due Tuesday. Are you ready? You got this down?" And I'm like, you know, I have my script in my back pocket. Yeah, I got it down. And dude, I was ADD, like all over the place. It took everything I had to memorize the lines. But once I memorized the lines, I was like, wow. Then you could get on stage and be, you know, feel comfortable as yourself. So basically, cut to that. My buddy Eric, we were graduating high school. He got into NYU Film School, so he was moving to New York, and I had no plans of going to college because, well, I had plans to like go to college, but I waited so long to submit, you know, to get in. Nobody was going to take me anyway. And looking back, that was kind of my plan too. So my dad was like, you know, I was taking flying lessons, and flying was cool. You know, I was flying planes. I got my solo license. I was flying by myself. I'd take trips and fly with my dad's friends who had planes, and we'd fly from Atlanta to North Carolina in different planes. But flying was never my, you know, I wasn't drawn to it. I was pushed really hard to play tennis. My dad wanted me to be a professional tennis player.
Really?
So I was pushed really hard to play tennis. And I loved it. I was good. And I was good. I'm not trying to brag, but I was pretty good. But I got burnt out from practicing so much. And so there was this friction between me and my dad. I'd be like, you know, F tennis. I want to skateboard with my friends and hang out, smoke pot. I want to play with my band, you know. So it was kind of a yin, you know, it was kind of a friction between us at the time. So my buddy got into NYU, and my dad's like, you know, he sent me down. Remember, we went out to breakfast one morning. He was like, what do you want to do? I had a couple of friends who were they were moving to Boulder, Colorado. They were gonna go to Boulder, actually, and a bunch of them went to school at Crested Butte. So they were going to go out there, go to Western State, and then they were going to, you know, work at a ski lift. So they got free ski passes. I'm a big I grew up snow skiing, love snow skiing. So I'm like, yeah, maybe I'll move to Colorado, you know, and, you know, get a job on a lift. And my dad's like, he goes, no, that's not how, you know, you're not doing that. You got to figure something else out. And I said, well, Pop, only thing I'm interested in, you know, I want to play music, and I want to act. So I researched some schools in New York, and found American Academy of Dramatic Arts. I sent them a letter, and they called me up. They said, yeah, you want to fly up and visit and do an audition. So I learned these 2 monologues, flew up with my dad, and
wow.
I remember I was sitting outside at my buddy's dorm at NYU. Him and I are sitting right there, Washington Square Park near the Arc de Triomphe.
Yeah.
And running my lines for my monologue, practicing. Went in, did them. Got a letter 2 weeks later, you're in. And then I moved to New York. I was 18.
Wow.
I moved to New York. You know, I moved to New York like 3 or 4 weeks later.
Wow.
So I was in that program. It's a 2-year program. Got an associate's degree. Then they asked me to be in their repertory theater company, which is kind of a 3rd year. They invite I think it was like 20. We had invited like 20 actors. Every year they dump it. Every year they down it down. So you make it through the 1st year, they cut it down, and so many people get to the 2nd year to graduate. If you graduate, and then they invite about 20 actors to be in a repertory company. And so that 3rd year, what we would do is like every 4 weeks, we'd rehearse and put on a play and invite agents and, you know, friends and stuff. And, I mean, I was studying, you know, everything we were doing. I was doing Chekhov, which I had no interest in Chekhov, but I loved Sam Shepard. I loved doing True West. I did Tennessee Williams, did a Woody Allen play called Don't Drink the Water, which is really funny. I actually did a tiny bit of Shakespeare. Like,
really?
I did a little bit of which was is really intimidating because just the pacing and the language that Shakespeare wrote in. I was really intimidated, especially being so young. But I remember doing a little bit of Henry V. And I can remember the first part of this monologue I had to learn was like, now entertain conjecture of a time when creeping murmur and the pouring dark fills the wide spaces of the universe, fills the wide vessels of the universe, something like that. But so I moved to New York. I lived in the YMCA, 92nd Street for the first year. Then I moved down to the Village, Thompson Street near NYU, like a block and a half south of Washington Square Park. And I lived there for, I lived in New York. I lived on West 11th Street for a little bit in the West Village. Then I moved to Williamsburg before it came hip. Now it's one of the priciest places there. We had this 3,500 square foot loft. We had a basketball hoop in there. And the two guys I lived with, we had a 3-piece band, and it was like $1,500 a month at the time. And now, if you were to get the loft like that there, it probably cost you like $6,000 a month, $7,000 a month. Anyway, so I spent, after that, I spent time auditioning, doing odd jobs. I got a job, bartending and waiting tables. I had a killer job at this place called the Iridium Cafe. And Les Paul, you familiar with Les Paul guitars? Les Paul played there every Tuesday night.
Oh, wow.
Well, for 6 months, I was a bartender, and Les Paul was 15 feet away from me.
Oh, that's cool.
And he had special guests come in. That was really cool. Other side jobs I had in New York. I was a bike messenger 3 different times. And to this day, being a bike messenger in New York is one of my favorite jobs I've ever had.
So what does that involve? So
basically, I'm on my mountain bike, and basically you're delivering parcels from one building to another.
Okay,
I'd pick. It's back when you had to use the phone. You had to a pocket full of quarters, and you had this you had a little order sheet. So you call in. This is Damon. You had a number like mine was like Damon A602. Like, okay, where are you at? You're like, I'm downtown in Soho, or I'm in Tribeca. Like, okay. Head down to the World Trade Towers, 53rd floor. Go to so and so, this law office. They got a parcel for you. Put it in the messenger bag. Drive it uptown to 86th Street. So, like I said, we had to use payphones, man. Those cell phones back then.
I know.
So there was this trick that we used to use. Bike message also. You could pick up a payphone in New York, and the thing you hang it up on. If you push it down, you hear a click. Once you hear that click, instead of putting a quarter in, you could put a nickel in and release it and then make your phone call. So instead of using, 25 cents a call, it was only a nickel a call. I don't know what I'm telling you.
Got all the hacks.
It was a hack. Yeah, dude. Yeah. It was a total hack.
So you did a lot of theater. Do you remember your first acting gig?
Well, I wound up writing a 1-act play with a bunch of us after we graduated. We were all doing side gigs, bartending, waiting tables. I wrote a 1-act play that we got produced, did it at a theater. It was called Friends. It was just a little 1-act play. And then I would do some off Broadway stuff, off Broadway stuff. And then I started, I got an agent, started auditioning a little bit, and finally I was like, actually I was living in Greenpoint next to Williamsburg, and I just gotten my first motorcycle because I wasn't allowed to have a motorcycle growing up because my parents knew I would kill myself. I had a motorcycle, but I was dating a girl from Sydney, Australia.
Hey,
yeah, down under. Anyway, after that, I don't know where I'm going. I don't know where I'm going with that. But after that, so I did some. I started. Playing, I was still playing in bands. I started playing with this girl in New York called Claudine Kilson. She wound up moving to LA, and then I was kind of ready for a move. So I had lived in New York for 8 years. I was ready for a move. So I moved to LA.
Yep.
After that. I got an agent out here. His name was Daniel Hoff. He was sending me out commercially. I hooked back up with Claudine Kilson. We formed this band called Claudine 3 because there was 3 of us, me, her, and our bass player named Marty. And then my buddy Aaron that I was in high school with, we were in the band Freight Ends. He had went to Arizona State. Then he moved to Colorado. He was ski bum for a while. Then he moved to Hawaii. He started sending me cassette tapes of songs. He's like, dude, I got some really good songs. I want you to hear them. He goes, I'm thinking about moving back to the mainland. He goes, I think I'm going to move to San Jose because he was into surfing. And I'm like, San Jose? I'm like, you fucking, why you moving to San Jose? You want to make it? I'm like, you either got to move to New York or LA, brother. I mean, you want to be in a music. And he visited me in New York, and he didn't care for that fast-paced lifestyle. So I knew he wasn't going to move to New York. So he wound up moving to LA. We formed a band immediately called Blue Train, which shortly thereafter became a band called Sherman. So Sherman, we got a manager, Doc McGee, and his brother Scott McGee. Doc McGee was the big guy there. And they were big for, they managed Bon Jovi back in the day. They managed Motley Crue. And so they were big, they were known for those guys. And, the stories I heard about Motley Crue, it's crazy. Oh. So Doc's brother, Scott, the tough dude, man. He's like I'm 6 feet. He was like 6 feet, 6'1", built kind of like me, but for a short while he played as a receiver for the Chicago Bears. So he was a tough son of a bitch. So when he retired from that, Doc hired him to come on board to be the tour manager for Motley Crue because nobody could control those dudes. They were so out of control.
Like a security guy or more?
Yeah, like security guy. Like, he would have to, he'd have to fist fight him. He'd have to beat him up. He said they were so out of control. He had to take handcuffs, and he had to go and handcuff each of them to their bed so they wouldn't leave the hotel room. Because otherwise they'd miss the gig and you wouldn't see them for 4 or 5 days. They'd be up, doing coke, doing heroin, and I don't know if you've read that Motley Crue book, The Dirt, but
I haven't.
It's great. They were mainlining Jack Daniels just so they could come down from doing coke and heroin.
Oh my god, fucking hell!
They were a little mess.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Why do you think a lot of those bands and big time celebrities and get on coke and heroin? Like, do they just fall into it? Is it just the surroundings? Is it the environment?
What? I think it's a combination of it all, man. Because there's such a high when you get on stage and you perform for a lot of people, but that's only for like an hour or so a day, right?
Yeah, I know.
Then you're left with all this downtime, and after you start touring and knowing towns and meeting people, everybody wants to hang out with you. Everybody wants to party. Hey man, we're having an after party. Come on over. What's there? Anything you want, and it was, it's a lot of burning the candle at both ends. So yeah, I think what you said, all of those factor into the fact that, I think a lot of people are chasing that high from being on stage and getting that instant feedback. And that's why I love theater. That's why I love playing music, because there's an instant feedback and an energy you get instantly from the crowd. So yeah.
So you still play live now? Well, obviously COVID probably doesn't.
We don't because of COVID, but I just recently 6 months ago, one of our first guitar players and Sherman, him and I just reconnected. And so we started a little band. We got a little power trio we're doing. He's got a studio out in Burbank that we play at. That's where my drums are now. And he also has a motorcycle, so we play music and ride motorcycles together.
Oh, nice.
So that's pretty cool.
How did you get into that? Because I know you're big into that.
How did I get into motorcycles?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I haven't had a motorcycle. I hadn't had a motorcycle since I left New York. And I was talking to my wife a few years back, and I'm like, God, I really want a bike. And she's like, well, what are you doing? She's like, get one, you know. Usually I, you know, if I think about something, I'm like, Snap says, yeah, do it. Let's go after, let's get after.
Yeah.
She's like, get one. So I'm like, all right. I started researching bikes, and I wanted to get kind of an adventure bike and a touring bike. So I wound up getting a BMW. It's a F650. It's kind of an on-road, off-road bike. So I could take it up. I could take it up in the hills and the mountains and go off road here around LA. Go up to Big Bear, you know, go to Big Sur, up to PCH, Topanga Canyon. I mean, I go all over. Do a little, you know, moto camping. Go out to Joshua Tree. So yeah, I kind of just fell in love with that the past couple of years. So yeah, that's been fun. That's been a lot of fun.
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
and I hadn't had time to do it because, you know, when I was in the band, I was on the road a lot, man. You know, we were gone 2 months at a time, 3 months at a time. We're gone 6 or 8 months out of the year, a lot of the time.
So you're touring different pubs and things like that, or what?
Yeah, well, you know, dude, we toured with a lot of bands, man.
Yeah.
Our manager, Doc McGee at the time, he was managing Kiss, and he still does manage Kiss. So, you know, we'd go to the office to hang out. We'd go to office basically to get free lunch because usually they'd order lunch. We'd hang out on the patio and smoke cigarettes and just hang out. No reason to be there. But then, you know, Paul Stanley would walk in, and, you know, Paul Stanley being a black baseball cap with his ponytail pulled through his cap, you know, no makeup on. He's got on a white T-shirt and jeans. He looked like he was like, you know, loading trucks for a living. Like, holy shit. We'd go to parties and Gene Simmons would be in there. Gene Simmons is all right. Paul was super cool.
Oh, yeah, I could imagine, yeah.
But they also managed Blues Traveler and Hootie and the Blowfish. So I did a lot of tours with Blues Traveler and Hootie and the Blowfish. One of our best gigs, man, we did a 4th of July at Red Rocks in Colorado. We opened up. It was Sherman with Ziggy Marley and Blues Traveler at Red Rocks. That was great.
Wow.
Dude, we got to play a lot of great video. I got to play CBGB's in New York before it closed down. The Fillmore up in San Francisco. But we opened for everybody. I mean, played with Willie Nelson, Los Lobos, the Jayhawks, Lucinda Williams, Dwight Yoakam. We used to have this thing. There used to be this thing we did once a month called Sweethearts of the Rodeo, and all these different we were kind of the alternative country alt band, you know, a lot of Steve Earle influence, Whiskey Town, Uncle Tupelo, Sunvolt, that kind of thing. Tom Petty, of course. We used to go and we do it like an all-star jam. We go in and just all night. We just like kind of switched musicians. These guys would go up and play a few songs. So
you have an album that we can check out? Everyone can check out or anything?
You know, on Spotify, yeah. So I left the band. I left the band about 10 years ago, maybe longer. 2008 or 2009. I left the band. You know, arguing with my lead singer, who was, you know, one of my best friends. But when you're on the road, man,
yeah, I can imagine.
23 hours a day with everybody. So you're brothers. And so you're loving each other and you're fighting each other. And sometimes it's going to, you know, blows, and sometimes it's saying some of the worst possible stuff. And also, you know, the other half of the time it's, you know, it's all love and, like, you know, rehearsing and practice. What are we going to do tonight? We're going to improv. We're going to do a new song. We're going to throw a new cover in there and do a special encore.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. So we got to play a bunch of cool gigs, man. I think I've been to every state, but I've been to every state but 3. Every state but 3. I haven't been to Hawaii. Haven't been to Alaska. And
see, I say that, but it's for Australia. I've been to every state, but there's nothing compared to USA. I mean, Australia's huge, right? I mean, yeah, but there's only like 8 or 9 states, you know, compared to 50 plus.
Right, yeah. Which is just wider, right?
Yeah, exactly.
You're in well, are you in Melbourne?
I'm in Melbourne, yeah. But Melbourne, there's about, well, in Australia there's about 25 mil, and I think there's just 25 mil in LA alone. You know what I mean? That's the whole of Australia. 25.
So do you live? Where do you live? Are you down? You live downtown? You live in the city? You live in the outskirts?
About 30 minutes away from the city. Yeah. But yeah. Going back. Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, well, how did you get into? Have you always been a gamer? Like, how did you get into all this?
Yeah, man. I've always been a gamer. Just ever since a young age. Just picked up a PlayStation controller, and ever since then, and then, YouTube came out, and I got my feet wet into that, and then ever since then, I've loved it. So now I do it full time, which is pretty cool. But because I just tell
really
people,
cool, man.
play games
You're
for a living.
Work from home.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, work from home, play games for a living. But you got to watch it. You got to get out there and get in the sun. Otherwise, it can be, you just got to stay fit. That's what I say.
Yeah, because I can imagine, like, because when I lived in New York and I was bartending, in New York in the winter, the sun goes down at 4:00. It's dark. So some of my bartending shifts, I wouldn't start till 8 or 10 o'clock. If I was in a restaurant, they'd start earlier, 6, 7. But some bars, I wouldn't go until 10 o'clock. And bars were open till 4 a.m. there. Here out here in LA, they're only open till 2 a.m.
Right.
But they were open till 4. So I'd be going to work at 9, 9:30. We'd get out. We'd close the bar at 4. We wouldn't get done counting the money and everything till 5.
So when would you get to
Then
sleep?
You're wired. Then you're wired. You can't go to sleep. So I was sleeping. So I was turning into a vampire.
Yeah.
I was sleeping. I was coming home, getting home at 6, 7 in the morning. Sometimes later, sometimes later, But I'd wake up and it'd be dark, man. And I was like, God, dude, something's got to change. So I can imagine being a gamer. I see a lot of these gamers, man. They're streaming all night long.
Yeah, I can't do that. I can't do that. That's just great. Some of them do 8 hours a day. I just couldn't do it. But yeah, I try to get out as much as possible. Go on a hike, a walk, a run, get to the gym, just go out and see people. And talk to people like you, mate. Is always good. So how was your 2020? How did you find that year? Because you were working, yeah. You were working or what?
I found 2020 to be great because I had a solid gig with Call of Duty, man.
Exactly. Yeah.
The pandemic was strange, wearing masks, people scared not to go outside, and people were scared to go anywhere. And
No.
it was really a strange time. So a lot of adjustments. And at first when it first hit, I kind of took it as a vacation. I was like, all right, I'm just gonna kick back, I'm gonna throw the grill on.
Same as me, yeah.
Throw the grill on out back, listen to some music, and it was like a vacation. And then it was like, all right, you can't do this much longer.
No.
There was no work. There was work doing Call of Duty, but there was no other work coming up. So I wasn't auditioning a lot.
Yep.
And so it kind of became it started to become like a Groundhog Day.
100%. So you did most of Woods from home?
Well, I get a backstory. Like when you go into audition, I got a random audition from my agent, and it was the reason I say random is because I've had video game auditions before and stuff, but this one said it was performance capture and motion capture, and they're very tight-lipped. They keep everything close to the vest as far as what it is. So I had no idea what it was. It said something like
Zeus,
guys,
was it called? Was that the code
Zeus?
name? Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know. Yeah, I'm glad you said it. Yeah, is that out there? Are people saying that? Because I didn't know if I didn't know if
I think Bruce told me that. Yeah.
Did he? All right,
Yeah.
cool. Well, if Bruce let it out of the bag, then I'll see. Yeah, it's called code name Zeus. So, and I got this audition, and it was for this lady, the casting director called Ivy Eisenberg, who's done Call of Duty forever.
Yep.
So I had to drive down to to the Activision stage, you know, the volume where they actually shoot the performance capture. I didn't know where it was. And so I remember the description was like, you know, tough, smart ass sergeant, kind of a cross between a young Arlie Ermy and Jason Beggy.
Wow.
So I went over this script for days and days. And like, I don't know why, for some reason, I really worked hard on it. And my wife, who's my biggest voice coach, you know, she's my biggest critic, and God bless her for it. She's also my biggest fan, and I love her because she takes care of me. She's the best thing. I love you, Kristen, if you're listening. She was helping me with the lines. And so I memorized the lines, and I started getting the blocking down for what I needed to do. And so I had to go down to Playa del Rey. Now, my audition was at 4:00. So I'm thinking, God, at 4:00, I live on the other side of town from there. So I'm like, all right, this is going to take me an hour and a half to drive down to get there. And then I'm going to be done with the audition probably 4:30, 4:45. It's going to be an hour 45. So I'm like, man, am I even going to go? And I was like, hell yeah, I'm still going to go. So I went, met Ivy, and, you know, she sets up, she got this tripod, she's got a camera, you're out of this stage. She's like, all right, this is what you're doing in this scene. You know, I'd researched it. I'm pulling out a map on this Jeep, and I'm telling them, you know, we got to go in, we got to hit them hard.
Is this by yourself?
Yeah, by myself. There's other people, you know, there's a guy I'm talking to in the scene.
Yeah.
So I did it a couple of times with Ivy, and she was smiling, she was good. So I was getting some good vibes, and I'm like, I remember I looked at her and I go, hey, how about, I go, what do you think about, let me do one straight into camera. And she's like, oh, sure. Okay. So I did one where I went straight into camera, and one, I was tied to this chair and I'm getting beat up. And that was probably my bet. I mean, that may have been what got me the job, because that was a good take. And when I was leaving, she was really nice. And usually casting directors, they're like, all right, thank you. See you later. She was like, hey, there's a kitchen over here, you know, help yourself, grab some food for the ride home, grab a couple of drinks, you know, get yourself a soda.
So you were feeling good?
Well, I was like, wow, you know, casting directors usually don't pay me that much attention. Usually it's like, all right, thank you. Yeah. Appreciate it. Later. She was like, oh no, grab a drink, you know, grab some snacks for you, a couple of Kind bars or whatever, power bars. And I was like, cool. So driving home, man, I was like, wow, that felt really good. I remember I called my wife. She was with some friends. I'm like, she goes, how'd it go? I go, I just fucking crushed it. I was one of the best things I did, because you know, and I'm thanking my wife because I thought I did such a good job. And anyway, cut to couple weeks go by, and my agent starts calling me and emailing me, and she's asking me, she's like, you know, these people from, it was actually, I think, Raven at the time, but I'll say Activision or Raven. They kept calling her, and they're like, we can't find anything on this guy. They're like, you got to send in some information. And I'm like, I said, they have my audition tape, right? Like, isn't that all they need? They're like, well, no, they can't find you on, you know, anything. I go, well, I'm not out there, man. I don't do social media, so I don't have anything posted online. So she's like, all right, write up a brief thing, you know, she goes, you got to give me something to give them. So I just wrote them basically what I told you. Hey, I started this band called Sherman. I trained in New York at the American Academy.
Yeah.
I've always done music. I've always done acting. And basically I took, you know, 15 years. I took 15 years off of acting, because when I moved to LA, you know, I started doing commercial stuff, but then my band, we got the manager, we got signed by William Morris.
You can't do both. No.
Yeah, and so I had to let the acting go, because then we started hitting the road. Then we got a record deal with Vanguard Records. And so then next thing you know, we're on the road. So we started going to South by Southwest every year. You know, actually, funny story. The first time we went to South, you know what South by Southwest is in Austin? All right. The first time we go there, we went there. We had no shows booked. We were just going to show up and play on the street corners, play wherever we could. So we're driving into town, and we're listening to local Austin radio, and we hear they're interviewing Leon Russell and Willie Nelson. And we're like, holy shit. And my buddy's like, oh, that's I don't know what radio station it was. Hey, that's KXP 94 or whatever. So He goes, I know where that is. So instead of going to where we were staying at a friend's house, we drove straight there, parked the van, walk out. Out comes this dude, big white beard. I don't know if you know Leon Russell. He was dressed in a white suit. He's got a sparkly black cane, big white beard.
You can't
he
miss
walks
him.
out and gets in his white Lincoln Continental. And then right as we're walking up to the door of the studio, Willie Nelson walks right up. And we're like, holy shit, man. We are such big fans of you. He was super cool, man. You know, of course, he's in his braids. He's got his bandana on. He's got his jeans on. He's wearing his New Balance sneakers. He was known for wearing his New Balance sneakers. They were comfortable. So we took a picture. I got a picture on my phone somewhere. I'll show you. We took a picture with Willie, and we played around. We actually managed to get a few gigs at a couple of bars who didn't have bands booked. And after that, we started going, every year.
Wow.
I don't know how we got on that. I don't know how we got on that topic.
It's called a good conversation. You never know where it's going to go. So you booked this gig, Call of Duty,
right?
And I mean, so when does it set in that this game is one of the biggest franchises of all time in the video game landscape?
Well, after back and forth with my agent, she's like, you got to send me something. Give me a break. Give me something to give these guys.
Yeah.
And I said, all right. So I sent him a paragraph, basically what I described to you. I'm like, been in music, and I left that, and now I had some buddies out here that were in voiceover that I went to school with in New York, and they're like, man, you should really try to get into voiceover, because my one buddy was doing a lot of ADR, Joe Capoletti. And he goes, we got ADR is where you go, and it's like Walla Walla. It's where you go in and fill in all the background actors for the scene, because when they film it, they're not. Nobody's talking.
No one's talking. Yeah.
No one's talking. So you got to be the guy
Pretend
at the back
to be
corner.
the extras. Yeah.
Exactly. We're just mimics. He's like, so it's all about timing. He goes, you're a drummer, man. You can definitely sync it up. He's like, you should do this. So he pulled me in, and he got me a job. I was already in SAG, because years ago, before that,
Oh, okay.
I was an extra in this movie called 6 Days and 7 Nights with Harrison Ford and Anne Hesh, and I think David Schwimmer was in it. Anyway, I got my SAG days by working on that for 3 days, so I was eligible to join SAG at the time. So I joined SAG, and then I started taking VO classes, and my buddy Joe Capoletti was starting his own company doing ADR for movies and films, and he got me a job on this show called Californication. So that was my real first SAG after a paying job, big paying job, not big paying job, but big payday for a day getting a SAG rate.
Oh yeah.
And so then I just started hustling and going to workshops, studying with Lee Gilbert, who I did a demo, my demo with. I studied with Carol Day Kimball. I studied with Leanne Wisner. I studied with everybody. Yeah. So I got an agent with Arlene Thornton, and I was with her for a couple of years. Didn't really book anything. She cut me loose, and then Carol Day Kimball actually hooked me up with this lady called Vanessa Gilbert. Vanessa Gilbert's been an agent, over 30 years here. She used to handle, Don LaFontaine is, the voice of God.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
He's a famous dude for he did thousands and thousands of movie trailers. Like, he invented the line, in a world.
Yeah.
He invented that, right? So this dude worked kind of like this dude worked.
He's got a mansion somewhere.
Oh, dude. He passed away, I think, in 2008.
Okay. Yeah.
Rest his soul. But she managed him. So I got that's how I hooked up with Vanessa. Anyway, this Call of Duty thing I went and did with. So they wanted more information. Finally, I sent him a little paragraph.
Yep.
And at the time, I'd been working at a restaurant for about 5 years. My restaurant was heading downhill, and it was about to close. I was sick of the restaurant industry, bartending and waiting tables. And I'm like, I didn't know what I was going to do with myself. I'm like, I got to do something else. I don't want to wait tables anymore.
No.
So I'm like, I got my SAG card. Why don't I start doing extra work? So maybe I can get SAG. Now SAG and AFTRA have combined together. So SAG AFTRA is one union. I said, maybe I can do extra work, get my wife and I, bourbon, get my wife and I some insurance, and it'll allow me to still keep doing the voice stuff. So I was in the middle of doing this show. I had been booked on this show, HBO show called Perry Mason.
Yeah.
And did you see it?
Yeah.
Great. Dude, what a great show. Anyway, I was booked really as I had a lot of improv experience from New York. I was in improv troops and whatnot. Beer Can Comedy Club was one of them. Anyway, they booked me at a special rate to be a spirited congregate because a lot of these scenes were, a lot of the scenes are shot in the church, and there's these people, going wild, just going wild for Jesus. And so they wanted people with improv experience. So I worked on that. I mean, I think I did 8 or 9 episodes of that. So I was working on that show. I was sitting in the church pews between takes, and I checked my phone, and I got a message from Vanessa. Hey, Ivy, just send me an email. They want you for the role.
Wow.
They want you for the role. Still didn't know what role it was. I still didn't know what game it was.
Yeah.
I knew it was a big game. I remember in church, it was like, wow. I teared up, man. I was like,
yeah.
Oh,
that's
man.
awesome, man.
I teared up. I was like, oh shit, this is big. So
yeah.
Then I started talking to Ivy, and she told me it was Call of Duty. Didn't tell me my character yet. She goes, I'll email you in a couple of days. Basically, this is how it's going to work, Damon. You're on a trial basis. So the pressure was on. She's like, you're on a trial basis.
Wow.
You're going to come in. We're going to do performance capture. And if you do a good job, you're good, But just so you know, It's a trial basis.
That's pressure.
So, yeah. Then I was like, shit. I got to audition all over again. But I was still ecstatic. So she sends me the lines, and then she tells me, you're this character. It's all top secret. I couldn't tell anybody. It's called Zeus. You're doing a character who's been in the game for a while. His name's Frank Woods. This is all the information I could give to you about him. I got this sheet over here. I'll show it to you. It looks like, it's funny. It looks like this. It's a picture of Woods, right?
Wow.
Okay. And all it says is the passionate soldier. He's 6 feet tall, 190 pounds. Brown hair, blue eyes. He was born in 1930 in Philadelphia. And then it goes on. Yeah, he was in the Korean War as a soldier. He was a good fighter. Then he was recruited by the CIA. So
wow,
basically that's all the information I had. So Ivy sends me the sides for the first day of shooting. I get a call sheet to go to Activision, and that's Raven was handling that. So Raven had flown in from Madison, Wisconsin. They had flown in. So I went in, I studied my lines. Ivy, casting director, she's like, hey, if you want to come into my office, I can, cut some time for you. You want to come in and run lines and maybe rehearse? And I'm like, hell yeah, I want to come in and run some lines. Like, this shit's on the line, man. I'm going to have to do something here. So I went in and rehearsed with her, and then I went to the stage, and
wow.
The first day, we suit up. That's when I first met Bruce Thomas. Yeah. And I'm like, dude, how do I know Bruce Thomas? And then I realized I'd seen him in a Fairley Brothers movie. And what the hell is it called, man? Fairley Brothers movie.
Not Legally Blonde or Hall Pass. Not those two.
Hall Pass.
It was Hall Pass. Yeah.
Yes, it was Hall Pass. Where he plays the he's the baseball coach there in Cape Cod. Or
so
you
recognized him from that, and you're thinking, where
did I know this guy? And then I told my wife, and I told somebody else, and they're like Bruce Thomas, like, oh, dude, he's an old soap actor. I'm like, really? Like, they're like, you're gonna work with him? I was like, yeah. So I go and meet Bruce. Couldn't have been cooler. And I'm like, dude. Then I hear his voice. And I'm like, holy shit. Oh yeah. I mean, it's one of those dudes, and I'm sure you've heard this. It's one of those dudes. You'd listen to him read the fucking phone book because it's just whiskey and cigarettes, and it's smooth, and he's got
I know.
and he's got so much experience in games, right? Like how many you've seen him in games, right?
Yeah. Oh, he does all the mocap for Halo, which is another big franchise.
Yeah, for sure.
And he's in Gears, and he's in
mocap Master Chief, right?
Oh yeah. People don't understand that's a big gig, but I mean, what was it like working with the crew? You got Lily and
wow.
Reggie. I mean,
Dude,
you guys are all such a tight crew, which was what I love.
Dude, we're really a tight crew.
Yeah.
We have a group text we send around. We haven't been doing it so much lately. Everybody's doing other stuff now, but for a solid year, like we were group texting each other, like, not a solid year, but I'd say a solid 6 or 8 months. We were texting each other, every day somebody had sent something, we laugh and make jokes. And so I'm on stage with Bruce the first day, and I'm just sitting there. We get geared up in our mocap stuff. So we're in our suits. You know what they look like.
Yeah,
the suits. We're in the suits. We got the headgear on, and basically, I watched Bruce. We had to do these lines. And we're like, all right, Bruce, we're gonna go first. So I'm just sitting there on the side of the stage like this, watching Bruce do his lines. And he has this big monitor with his lines on him, and he's just reading his lines, real confident, real precise. And I was like, holy shit, man. And I was blown away. And, he walked off and we laughed, and I'm like, dude, great job. He slapped hands, and he's like, that's how it's done, kid. And he kind of winked at me. That's how it's done, kid. Right. And I was like, oh shit. He was joking.
Yeah.
I went out there and did mine, and I did the first couple of lines, and that's when Raven was there, and it was like Bob Love was directing at the time. He actually left. Martin McBain, Eric Schultman, I think it was name. I think it's Eric Schultman, and Jeff Scooble. Jeff Scooble works for Raven. He's like an actor. He's a performance capture guy. He did a lot of performance capture for this. He was actually sitting in for Mason because Mason wasn't cast yet. So
Really?
during that Ronald Reagan scene where we're sitting around, he's actually Jeff Scooble was playing Mason in that.
Oh, really? There's a little Easter egg. For people,
And I'll tell you one of the other first scenes we shot. In the campaign when Adler and Mason are in the bar, and the Dutch police officer comes in for the payout. Well, Mason wasn't cast, so they asked me, they're like, "Will you mind standing in and doing Mason in the scene?" I'm like, "Hell no!" I'm like, "Dude, I'll do anything, man. Put me in, I'll do anything." So I actually did the mocap for that first Mason. Yeah.
How funny. So when did he come on board, Chris? Because you guys have got a great chemistry, which is what those two needed.
Well, Chris came on super late. I don't know what took him so long to.
Yeah.
I don't know what took so long to cast Mason. I actually read for Mason. They sent me Ivy Sides to read for Mason, but that obviously didn't work out. I don't know if you know this, but I originally booked the role of Park. I guess they thought Lily's a little better looking than me. So.
Oh shit! Yeah.
But the gang on stage. So then, of course, I meet Bruce, and then we're doing a scene, and me and Bruce were doing a scene, and in come Damon Dayub and Reggie Watkins, and they're standing there watching us. They're in street clothes, and I'd seen him on a call sheet. And I saw another dude named Damon. I'm like, it's really rare, When I was young, it was really rare to see another Damon. But to be on the same set with a dude as Damon was really weird. So I remember walking over, "Hey, what's up? My name's Damon." He's like, "My name's Damon." "Hey, what's up, Reggie?" And dude, we hit it off. I mean, those guys are amazing.
But it really translated in the game. You could tell. Do you know what I mean?
Well, that's good, man. Thank you. That's nice to hear. It's really nice to hear.
Yeah. Like, especially you and Chris, even though the fact that, he came in late. So that is surprising to me. Yeah.
Well, me and Chris, he was one of the last guys. So we did a lot of mocap before Chris was actually coming in, but
that's what I mean. That's why it's so bizarre.
So the Sahefouse scene, that's where Chris first showed up.
Oh, yep.
And we were all instant pals. We were all instant pals.
So is that you fist bumping him? Do you remember that scene?
Yes, and I remember him and I talked about that. He go, we're like, what should we do with this? Because that was one of my favorite lines. I was like, I think we're sitting there in a safe house, and I'm like, $20 for the first person who takes him down. And Lazar goes, who? Castro or Perseus? And I'm like, whoever,
Yeah.
And then Chris and I just do this.
Yeah.
I'm like, because at first we were like, we're like, dude, let's do. I'm like, we were trying to figure out, let's do something here. Boom, let's high five. Nah, that's a bit too much. He goes, why don't you just? He goes, don't look at me. He goes, stick your fist up, and I'll fucking blind you like this. So I did this. He did that. And fist bump. So, yeah, instant friends with everybody. Lily, amazing dude. She's one of the dudes. And because she's a girl, she can get away with saying some more crass stuff on our. Because there's no worry of her getting in trouble. Me, I'm worried I'm going to get in trouble and overstep my lines. Not that I'm going to get canceled, because I'm not big enough to get canceled at all.
I know what you mean, though. Yeah.
But she's one of the dudes, man. She's one of the dudes. She's funny as hell.
She's awesome.
Ton of stories. Great actress. And Piotr, dude. Have you interviewed Piotr?
No.
Oh, so Piotr, Piotr plays Hudson.
I know. I have to get him on. Yeah.
Dude, this guy, he's like a jukebox. This guy can mimic anybody's voice.
Really?
You name it, he does it, man.
He nails it as Hudson, I'll tell you.
Sir Richard Attenborough nails it. Steve Buscemi nails
Really?
it. Jeff Goldblum effing nails it, dude. He's so on it. He was doing the Kimmel show. He was doing Rudy Giuliani on the Jimmy Kimmel show. Dude, he's so funny and just on it.
Yeah.
You
had the one scene with him, didn't you, where you that exchange outside the
base. Where I jump out of the car and punch him.
Yeah. Is that mocap?
That was mocap. Dude,
Yeah.
that was a fun scene. And I'm sure you've heard the story. Mocap, you're in this huge stage, and it's called the volume in the mocap world. I call it a stage. Basically, there's like 220 cameras. So you're captured 360 degrees, right? And then there'll be three camera operators on tripods with wheels moving around as well. What
was guys manning them?
Guys manning
Really?
them, cameramen.
Wow.
Sometimes 2, sometimes 3. And that was really cool because, it's bare bones on there, and you're mimicking a lot of things. So you probably heard this, but it brought me back to my theater days in New York. Are you familiar with what black box theater is? It's where
No.
whole stage is painted black, and you have maybe 2 or 3 different boxes painted black. So, and you're dressed in black as the actors. So you go on and perform.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I know what you mean. Yep.
You're mimicking. So instead of taking a sip of a drink, like this, you're doing it like this, like you're miming. You have to mime a lot of this stuff. So we're not sitting in Jeeps, we're not sitting in helicopters, we're sitting on boxes, and our doors are these C-stands. These C-stands would have a tennis ball, and that's how you'd open the door. That's how I'd be sitting on a box, and we roll up in that scene, and Bruce is driving, and Chris is in the back, and we're going to see Hudson. I jump out of the car, run up to Hudson and punch him. I just push this C-stand out of the way and step off this box and run around and go up and punch him.
Isn't it funny?
But these things are the cameras that stick out from your face here. You got these bright lights shining back on you. So you got to stay, it sticks out here. So it sticks out that much for Piotr. So him and I are this far apart. And so I have to mime punching him without hitting my gear and not hitting his gear, and then turn my head to the side, and he has to turn his head this way so we can get close enough so I can grab him and throw him up against the wall.
You didn't actually grab him, or you do?
Oh, I did grab
him.
You
did.
Yeah. Yeah, because he pissed me off. He was so talented, I was pissed at how talented he was.
So it was method acting.
Yeah. No, dude, he was great. So, yeah. So that all has to, so you do the blocking for that several times. And like I said, everything's pantomime. That was great, man. The crew was great. And we got fortunate enough that, like, all right, we're going to get you rolling. And Raven, I would stay after rehearsal to work with Jeff Scooble because he was the tactical military guy as well. So I wanted to get, I've handled a couple of guns in my life, but I'm no professional, and I don't know how to walk proper with the gun in your crease, how to pull it up.
So you guys got training, didn't you?
We did. So if the first PCAP session's down here with Raven, I'd stay after, and these guys would like shoot a scene, and Jeff Scooble and I would go in the back room, and he would like, all right, let's pick up a weapon. And he'd teach me, he's like, all right, put it here and crouch. And we would work I'd stay after him for an hour and a half, 2 hours, just working on guns with him, man. And he was like, he's like, I really want to get you guys, to work as a team and learn how to like go in and clear a room. And I'm like, let's do it. I mean, again, I'm up for anything. Please sign me up. I love this work. So cut two, man. Raven invited us to go to, they invited us to their headquarters in Madison, Wisconsin. It was last January, so just over a year ago. So we went up there for 4 days.
Wow.
Freezing ass cold, but it was fun, man. And we just walking into Raven was amazing. Seeing how many people just at Raven. We're not even involved in Treyarch. I haven't even dealt with Treyarch yet. But walking in there, seeing how many people are in this building,
coding and everything,
It was 300 people.
Wow.
Here's a section. All these guys are working on skins. All these guys are working on weapons. Then you walk to another thing, 2 levels up and down, and there's all these young gamer kids that work for them, and they're all in there drinking their Red Bull and their Rockstar or whatever. All they do is play Call of Duty all day long.
And
test. Look for glitches. Look for, hey man, I can walk through this wall. Yeah. If I walk over here, I'm hidden. Nobody can see me. But that's all they do all day long.
But that's how you achieve the polish, like, because this game, there was barely any glitches in that campaign. You know what I mean? That's how they do it. You know what I mean?
It's amazing.
It's amazing. So
it's nice to hear that there weren't that many glitches.
No,
although
not at all.
I heard about a lot. I heard about a lot of glitches, but you hear every little thing. Oh my God!
I mean, yeah.
Oh, the skill-based matchmaking and all this,
Yeah. I've heard about that. That's for sure.
no matter what they do, they're gonna get feedback.
How?
So we did this military training up there at Madison, man.
Yeah.
And it was me and Bruce and Dee Dee, which is Damon, and Reggie, and Jeff Scooble, and his partner. I'm sorry, I'm forgetting his name right now, but we were training 8 hours a day. Now,
wow,
these M16s, they have a stage there too. It's much like the volume at Activision out here, but probably about half the size. So, dude, they threw guns in our hands, and these guns,
heavy.
They're not heavy. They're not as heavy as the real guns, but they weigh 12 to 15 pounds. So, toting these things around, we're going in, learning how to clear rooms together. Somebody's going forward. You got somebody on the flank on the left, somebody on the right, somebody walking backwards, making sure nobody's coming back out of the hall. So we're setting up mazes. We're jumping around, dude. It was great. It's like being a kid, when you set up a fort in your living room with your cushions.
So what's this cheese story I keep hearing from some of your crewmates?
So one night we go out to dinner, and we had a reservation for 7 o'clock or whatever it was, and so we go to the bar, order some drinks, and we're all rapping. And there's this one dude down. There's this one dude down at the end of the bar. He's talking to the bartender. So I'm like, I look over and I'm like, you know, I know restaurants. I'm like, this guy, you know, he knows the bartender pretty well. He must be a regular, local. And so I start rapping with him, and he's like, oh man, he goes, yeah, he goes, I'm the cheese purveyor for these guys. I'm like, no shit. And he goes, yeah, he goes, try some of this. And he hands me this tub of cheese. And what he does is he orders these special fries they have. They have fries. So he's taking the fries and he's dipping them in these cheese. And it's like I think it was like an herbed goat cheese. I can't remember exactly what. I'm like, dude, that's awesome, man. So I sit there and rap with him like, yeah, I drop by. He goes, I live about 60 miles out of town, but these guys hire me to bring their cheese, you know, once a week or whenever they need it. I'm like, cool. I go, so you sell it? He goes, yeah. He goes, I go, is there any way I can get some? And he goes, I got some in my trunk. And I'm like, in your trunk? I'm like, you don't have that shit in the fridge? He's like, dude, you know, meanwhile, there's 6 or 8 inches of snow on the ground outside. So he doesn't need a fridge, right?
Yeah.
So he goes, I'll be right back. He comes back in with a tub of cheese. I handed him $5, and I'm like, dude, you got to. I go, bartender. I go, give me two orders of those fries. I open this up, and these dudes are looking at me like I'm crazy, like Dee Dee and Reggie and Bruce. I'm like, you got to try this stuff. So it's amazing. So they made it sound like I bought cheese off the street from some dude, but the dude was the purveyor for the restaurant.
Yeah. Far out.
But
so how did you?
That was a great bonding time.
Oh, it all helps, I think. How did you come up with the voice? Was that the first voice you ever did in the audition? That's
speaking about luck of the draw. That's the voice that I came up with.
Isn't that amazing?
When I got the sides. I'm addicted to ginger beer right now. You familiar with this one?
Bundaberg, yeah. So was my girlfriend for some reason.
Oh, sorry. Is it bad memories?
No. It's just a random fact. She's just on the ginger beer at the moment.
I'm on a ginger beer at the moment. I mean, I drink everything: Cock and Bull, Jamaica's Finest, Barrett's. There's another one called Fentimans, made out of England. It's really good.
Shit.
And my wife buys me Reeds because Reeds has got good ingredients. My wife's I call her a label reader because she's extremely healthy.
So is mine. Yeah.
Is she?
Yeah.
Well, so yeah, basically I drink Reeds and I drink some zero Virgil's root beer. Anyway.
Yeah.
So back to how did I come up with the Voice of Woods?
Yeah.
Basically, I took that. Of course, I knew who Arlie Ermy was, from Full Metal Jacket. I'm like, God, this dude's just a tough, raw badass. But it said a younger version of him. And then I looked up some Jason Beggy stuff, and I don't know if you're familiar with him, but he was on that show Californication, and now he does all those shows, like all the Chicago shows. There's like a Chicago Fire, or Chicago. He does all those. So I listened to his voice, and I tried to do my version of that. And by luck of the draw, and I think it was luck of the draw, I sounded close to what James was doing. And of course, I've gotten heat for being like, oh man, you copied this guy. Well, if it sounds like that, I guess it sounds like that. It wasn't intentional, but even when we were going through the VO stuff, which is when during pandemic, and we were doing all VO at this point. Amanda Wyatt was directing, and I'd be on a Zoom call like this with there'd be 7 people on there, some writers. Amanda Wyatt, who's amazing, who's directed everything. Dan Lawfer from Treyarch. Funny, he lives 2 miles from me, and we've never met because of the pandemic.
Wow.
So, basically, they liked the voice that I was doing, and it wouldn't let me. I wasn't allowed to go and research this. I did look up scenes, and a couple of my favorite scenes, that James did, like when they do the Russian roulette scene.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's my favorite. Yeah.
does it get better than that? That's just such a badass scene.
Mm.
And the other scene I really like, and I can't remember because I don't know because I've never played it.
Yeah.
The only Call of Duty I ever played is the one where he's sitting at the bar.
Yeah. That's
Dudes come in.
That's the opening scene. Yeah.
And he's what?
That's the opening scene of the first game, I think. Yeah.
Is it where he stabs the guy in the hand, right?
I think so.
He
Yeah.
stabbed the guy through the hand, and it stabs into the bar, and then they start just kicking ass.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, dude. So, yeah. So I did tap in, and I watched some scenes.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
What's that like taking on a role like that when it's been established before? You got to put your own little spin on it. Is it daunting for you? Is it a challenge? Is it what? How did you find it?
Challenging for me because it was my first. It was the biggest thing. It was the biggest thing I've ever done. I'd ever done. Biggest gig I've ever booked. And I was like, wow, Call of Duty, this is worldwide. I'm like, holy shit, this is real.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it was daunting for that reason. And going through these things with Amanda, we would talk about, and I had to repeat some lines, that James had already done. And she would be like, all right, hang on. And she would tell me what scene it was. She'd put it on mute. She'd listen to it. And she'd go, okay, try the line. And then she'd give me a little adjustment. So I was like, the first time I went into Formosa, which is the studio, Formosa Interactive, where we were recording, they put this it's like a beanie cap on you with these two little mics here.
Yeah.
So you have freedom to move around. I'm very physical. So I'm like, I got freedom to move around. Cool. I got my ginger beer set up over here. I've got my paper cow. You know what paper cow is? It's kind of it's loquat and honey for your voice. I've got throat coat tea, bottles of water.
You'd need it, I reckon, for that voice.
You do, especially the way I would yell. Yeah. So the first time I was in with Amanda Wyatt, she's like, yeah, you're free to move. So I took my shoes off. I took off my belt buckle, any kind of jewelry, hat, took off anything so there wouldn't be any noise. So I had my socks on the thing. So I'm acting like I'm carrying my guns. I'm running, I'm jumping, I'm getting down on the ground, and I'm coming up, and they're like, okay, that's fantastic, but Damon, you can't come up to the glass. I was going all the way up to like the glass. Like once you get to the glass, dude, the sound starts backing off. So we love the enthusiasm, but pull it back. Like, so I toned it down where I had like a 5 or 7 foot radius of movement.
Yeah. Far out.
Yeah. That was the first time we went in. So we did Formosa a few times, and then, we were about to start knocking out more performance capture and motion capture, and the pandemic hits, and I was like,
yeah,
shit, I didn't know what was going to happen. I figured, well, I didn't figure, but I thought, I'm like, maybe this is canceled. Maybe it's on.
That go through your mind?
Well, that went through my mind, but I don't know how Activision works. Now I know how they work. I mean, this is a big. They
haven't
company.
missed a game in a while. You know what I mean?
They don't miss a beat, dude. I mean, there could be a nuclear war. They're still going to put out a Call of Duty,
mate. It's unbelievable. They actually are great. Like, it's unbelievable how they do it.
Super cool.
Yeah.
So at the time, my agent was. I was in the midst of setting up. My agent was on me to set my home studio up. So I was getting that set up, and it just happened to be that time. I soundproof a closet I have. There's sliding doors. My wives and I, clothes hung on 2 different racks. So basically what I do is I come in and take out half of these clothes, the shoes underneath, and then I soundproof the bottom. I put padding on the bottom, inside of the glass doors.
Oh, so you changing it every time, or is it there? Is it permanent now?
No, it's there. It's permanent.
Okay.
It's permanent, man.
Yeah.
I went in with that. I went in with that powerful spray glue and sprayed the back of the panels, and I paneled the back of both of the sliding doors.
Yeah, wow.
So when I go to close, it's paneled. I did the floor, and then I did the wall because luckily I have a shelf in there that's about this wide that actually fits my laptop with my interface, and I had a light and a hanger for my script in there, so
it would get hot in there
as well, dude. Pretty good. You gotta be kidding, yeah. It got hot as hell, man.
You'd be
especially with Woods lines,
Yeah, they're physical, yeah.
So they're so physical, and I came out, I started out, I came out really hot out of the gate, You look back at some of the first stuff we shot, I'm like, all right, I could have toned that back a little bit, which I don't know if you noticed, but I notice in the game when I have regular lines, my voice sounds more real and down to earth. The performance, at least I feel my performance is better because I'm not pushing so damn hard. I felt like the first few times I was coming out of the gate because I was trying to impress people. I was trying to hang on to a job, and I really wanted this tough, sarcastic, smart ass son of a bitch to come across. And so as I look back, if I look back at my performance, the more we did, the more I settled into it, and I was able to get his voice, get the voice down to where it's real and believable.
So did you do the Warzone stuff recently, like that season 2 cutscene? That one with Naga and
when we're the new one, where I come out of the helicopter in the tank. Yeah, that was I recorded that. Actually, I went in for most of to record that because what they were doing, they were shipping me. Activision was shipping me kits because they wanted to keep the mics the same as we were using. Not everybody did this. I think Bruce used his own microphone, and I'm not sure if Piotr did or not, but they wanted to send me the kits to keep them consistent with what I was doing on the stage. So I'd get a kit, and you couldn't touch it for 24 hours, supposedly because of COVID. Then I'd open up the kit. There'd be a little 3-channel mixer. It has a little SD card that you record on. It's got 3 channels coming out. Plug my mics into it, plug it into my computer. So we're recording on this chip inside of the mixer. We're recording over Zoom like you and I are.
Yep.
And we're also recording over Source Connect. So there's 3 different recordings in case something goofs up.
Yeah, right.
So
that's
so that was cool. So they send me a kit, and some weeks it would be I'll bring you a kit Monday. Tuesday, open it up, set it up. Tuesday night we'll do a test to make sure it works, and then we'll record. We're going to record Wednesday. So some days I'd get it and I'd record just Wednesday. Some days I'd keep the kit. I'd record Wednesday and Thursday. Some days I'd go Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Sometimes I'd do 2 days and they'd be like, keep the kit because you're coming back next week anyway. So just keep the kit.
Yeah, right.
And inside the kit, there's also, they'd send you a pack of 100 Lysol wipes so you can wipe everything down.
Safety protocol, yeah.
Safety first, that's right.
Yeah.
But for that last cut scene you're talking about, that last for season 2, I actually went in because I'm like, they're like, you want us to send you a kit? I'm like, well, are people coming to the studio? They're like, dude, the studio's clean. We have this thing. I don't know. It's called like an ionizer or something. They had an ionizer. They sprayed it all down. Everything was clean. There's only one other person, and he's in a different room. The control guy, and you're gonna be on the big screen just like you are here with Dan Lawfer and Amanda Wyatt. And most of those things, recording most of those, because the performance capture, those are 8-hour days.
Yeah.
Voice
4 hours.
The voice is 4 hours. A lot of the stuff I did, because it's yelling and stuff, I did a lot where it was just 2 hours because, if we go to they're different. They're different levels. They're different levels. You know, there's level 1, there's level 2, there's level 3s. You know, and when you're in combat, you're going level 4, and you know that's straining on the voice. And Amanda, Dan were super cool. They're like, "How you doing?" So I'm like, "I'm great. Let's keep going."
Oh, really? Yeah.
Drinking that paper cow, like, yeah, I do it. Taking breaks, you know, to make sure like every hour they give me every hour you get a 10 or 15 minute break every hour, regardless. So you can use the bathroom, pound some water. Back to your question, did I sweat? Dude, I lost weight in that thing, man. I lost weight. Oh my God. I was sweating, dude. I'd come out, dude. I was just pouring, my shirt drenched. I'd take my shirt off, throw it, I'd put another shirt on, come back in to finish the session. But this so super cool, man. Super cool.
So when did you realize that the Onion line took off on the internet?
So yeah, you guys had a lot of fun at my expense over that, right?
No, I wouldn't say that. But...
No, it's cool, dude.
I love the line personally.
I'm happy to provide some. I want to make people laugh, dude. I love making people laugh. I'm glad.
I find it so funny.
At my expense. I didn't know about it for a while because I didn't join social media until I kind of got talked into joining social media because of this game.
Yeah.
And I'd been off social media my whole life for a reason. I'm like, it's not for me. And the Facebook thing, I'm like, I don't care what people are eating for breakfast. I don't care if they get up and like, oh, look what my dog's doing.
Yeah, I understand it, man. I really do.
And nothing wrong to people who do it, man.
Yeah.
Because just if people do it well, like my boy Reggie, dude, he is on it like crazy. I don't know how he's got more. He crushes it. He crushes it, and he talks to everybody. He does this new thing called Clubhouse, where he's going to talking to people. He got me involved in Clubhouse. I'm signed up on Clubhouse. I've never used it. I kind of got coaxed into like, they're like, dude, you need to be out there. And I'm thinking like, of course I'm thinking about to what, you know, Ivy had said, she's like, you're not out there. She's like, nobody knows who you are. She's like, you got to get on this social media stuff. I'm like, all right, fine.
Yeah. So
I had the social media manager kind of help me out. And it was just too much for me, man, because she was wanting me to post. She was great. Mary Simmons Media. If you need help, Mary Simmons is the best. Love her. But so she was helping me. She was like, all right, we're going to try to do, we're going to post Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. We're going to post Monday through Friday. I'm like, really? Okay. What are we going to post? She's like, just pictures of you, your wife, you on a ski trip, you on a motorcycle trip, you drinking coffee. I'm like, what? Okay. Of course, me is Frank Woods, the game, when that started rolling. Then I started posting the videos that come out, the trailers that would come out. So I did that, and I did that for a couple months, and it just wasn't, it's not really my thing. And again, nothing against people who do it. I think it's great. People do it for business. I think it's fantastic. So how did this is a long-winded dude. I know you keep asking me a question and we go off.
Mate, I love it. I love it.
Back to the onions thing. I didn't know about the onions thing until I didn't know how I found out about it.
Yeah.
I'm sure I think it was on Twitter. Something's like somebody tweeted something on Twitter, and I'm an onion. So I see these onion things start showing up. And then
it's just so ridiculous.
Of course, you know, of course the people they're making fun of it. I'm like, you know, great. And I'm like, dude, did you, they're like, and people they're like, did you write that line? And I'm like, I don't think so. And I went back and looked at script, and no, I did not. I wasn't I did improv a lot, but I did not improv that line.
Yeah.
And I wish I could take credit for it, because all the traction it got and all the heat you guys gave me for it.
Oh, dude, I didn't give you heat. Come on,
dude. It's all art, any art, music, film, theater, video game. Whatever you put out in the world, art's subjective, man. Some people are going to like it, some people are going to hate it, and people that are mad that I'm playing Frank Woods, dude. I can imagine, dude, if I had a character in a movie, like, I don't know,
Yeah,
old
you can
movies.
see it from the other side. Is that what you mean?
Imagine State of Grace. The movie State of Grace. I don't know if you ever saw it. Sean Penn, Ed Harris, John Turturro. John Turturro's in it. John C. Reilly's in it. Robin Wright is in it. If they were to do that like a sequel and they replaced a few people, I'd probably go bananas. One of my favorite bands. If they replaced the drummer for Zeppelin, I would freak. If they replaced the drummer Levon Helm, one of my other favorite drummers, if they replaced him, I'd lose my mind.
But the
Clash.
One of
my favorite bands. If they replaced Topper Headon as the drummer, I would absolutely lose my mind, and I would, I'd be one of these people that would be super pissed. So I can totally understand the backlash. I get it.
I look at it like someone, like Batman. Where how many people have played Batman, Everyone has their own interpretation. I think it's the same for Call of Duty. There'll probably be, in 50 years' time, there'll be another Woods. Do you know what I mean? It's these characters will live on. That's how I look at it, personally.
Right.
But, and everyone can have their own interpretation. But, no, I'm wondering how many messages and tweets and things you got on that Onion thing. I mean, it just blew up.
Well, I think for some reason I caught it late because
so funny.
That was when I was starting to not, because I was on it every day for a while, and it was just soaking up. It was sort of soaking up my time. I'm starting to search things that I don't care about. I'm looking at people, like I said, I'm looking at people's. Oh, here's my dog in the snow. Isn't this cute? It is cute, but do I need to get sucked down this rabbit hole? Because I watch that, and then it takes me to something else. And next thing you know, I'm watching somebody teaching me how to cook a lasagna. It's bizarre. Yeah. But dude, hats off to everybody who does it. I mean, if you can make a living doing that, man, that's fantastic. Good on you.
Well, thank you, man. What was your favorite scene? You personally, which scene do you go? Yeah, I fucking crushed that.
I mean, I really like that. I really like that Hudson scene where I punch Hudson. That was
it's one of my favorites.
Was fun. The funnest part. Is that a word? The most fun was doing performance capture. I mean, doing the VO is great, but when you're interacting on the stage with other actors and you're in the moment, you guys are all connecting. You're looking at each other eye to eye. You're listening to each other, and you're acting. That's the best, man. Performance capture, that is the best. It's still, like I said, man, doing the straight VO, that's cool, because when we did some of the VO, be like, all right, well, my light. Doing the lines sometimes. Amanda would be like, okay, so we're doing the scene, and we happened to we just did Bruce this morning, and we did Bruce yesterday, and so you and Bruce are having a conversation. Here's the level of Bruce was doing.
Yeah, right.
I'd listen to Bruce and kind of get a feel for that, and I'd be like, all right. And so how they do that, they'd play me Bruce's line, and I'd answer it right away, like it was in real time, like we were talking together, and vice versa. If I did it first, if I did something with Reggie, or I did something, with Chris playing Gilbert, I would do, if they recorded me first, they'd play my lines for them, be like, this is what Damon did, or this is what Wood said. And then you're responding to them. So in your cans, you're hearing what they ask you, and then you're answering.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Yeah.
Yeah. So have you got a chance to play the campaign or Warzone or?
Dude, I don't even want to. Don't get me started. Man. I never played video game. I played video games in my life. As a kid, I actually won a tournament, Donkey Kong Jr. when I was, this high. But the only games I've played recently, when I was on the road, touring in a band, we had this baseball game we played, and we had
MLB. Yep,
MLB, and my buddy in his apartment had the hockey game, and that was big. Yeah. We loved to play this hockey game. I mean, we just drink and play hockey,
NHL,
talk shit.
Yeah.
But in our van, we had the MLB game, and we had this game that came out funny enough, it was called Red Dead Redemption.
Oh, wow. Nice.
And the dude you interviewed
Yeah.
would be yesterday or 2 days
Yeah,
ago.
2 days ago, Rob, yeah.
What's his name?
Rob Weedoff, yeah.
Dude, that guy, I sent you a message about it, I think.
Yeah.
I want to be like that guy. You talk about, dude, what a positive
Isn't he?
What a positive dude. What a positive dude, man. Just great outlook on life.
Yeah.
He was great.
He
I played a little bit of Red Dead Redemption. Not a lot, but I remember being on the train moving, and you running. There's horses coming up, you try to shoot it. I sucked at it. It was terrible. So, do I play the game? Yes, absolutely play the game.
Nice.
Absolutely, dude. And now it's starting to be a bit of an issue. I'll tell you.
Really?
Well, first, I'll tell you how I got into it. When I knew that this was coming out, I started watching YouTubers talk about Cold War coming out. Me and my wife first. I would go through and watch these different YouTubers, and I found this one YouTuber. I don't know if you're familiar with the guy out of Chicago. His name's DK Dynamite.
Yeah, I know.
You know him?
Yeah.
Super guy. So I started watching his things on Call of Duty. Here he would make, his projections. This is what I think is going to happen. This is going to do this and this. And so, and then, I had my wife watching. So he became our household favorite, right? And then these Easter eggs start dropping, right? A few months back before the game, and they have to start solving them.
Oh, I remember that, yeah.
I watched DK. I believe I watched DK. I believe I watched DK do a little of them, but then I jumped over to. I started watching Noah J.
Yep.
And his crew.
Yeah.
And I started watching them solve these Easter eggs, and I'm looking at this and scratching my head. I'm like, how in the hell are they figuring this shit out? Like, I was coming up with, I'm trying to help them. Like, I can't even talk to them. I'm watching, I'm thinking, I'm like, all right. I'm like, I don't know how they did it. So I went through weeks. I watched them solve every Easter egg from the beginning until all of a sudden, the last one where the horns are going off and they all have to run to the stadium.
Oh, like, I remember that. Yeah.
That was huge. That was such a big moment. I'm like, that is so cool.
And that's when the trailer played, didn't it?
That's when the trailer played.
What a way to reveal it. Yeah.
That's when the trailer played for the first time. So
yeah.
I knew I had to play this game. I'm like, I gotta get it. So I bought a PS4 because I knew in a couple of months the PS5 was coming out, right? They were advertising that. So I'm like, got to be people on eBay getting rid of PS4s. I got a PS4 for like $200. And then I got the game and I turned it on and I was like, I had no idea how hard it was. I had no idea the level expertise that people like, Noah J, people like my buddy DK Dynamite. I had no idea how much time it takes to get good at this. So I get the game. Activision sends me a copy. I plug it in, and I'm going through, and I'm like,
the campaign first you played?
Campaign first, because I had no idea. I was just like, click the campaign. Let's do it.
Nice.
So, what's it? Nowhere left to run. Everybody's going to ask, and I'm sure you're going to ask, like, what's my favorite part of the campaign? Nowhere Left to Run was awesome because I'd never seen it. I'm running up, and I set it on level recruit, right? Easiest level. My buddy, Chris Pyane Gilbert, who plays Mason, he sends a group. He texts us a couple days later. He's like, just finish the campaign. It's like 2 days later. He goes, just finish the campaign. And I said, what? I go, you got to be effing kidding me. He's a game. So he's an old school. He stopped. He used to play this game. I forgot what game it was, but he was a big time. He said he had to take a break from because he was playing a lot. This old game.
Oh, okay.
4, 5, 6 years ago. He stopped playing games, but now he's in this one. So he wanted to get back involved. So he said he finished it. And I was like, no way. So I'm like, well, now I got to finish it. So I went through and played it, Nowhere Left to Run, break on through the final countdown. I got to the KGB thing.
Oh, yep.
And was that Desperate Measures?
Yep.
And you have to pick a lock, right? I'm like, how do you pick? You know how long it took me to pick my first lock? I honestly, Dan,
that's funny.
I think it was 10. I think it was at least 10, 12 minutes.
Wow.
Because I'm on a. I didn't know you had to push one up this way and this one down and then kind of get them in the middle.
Yeah.
I didn't know how to do it.
Yeah, I can understand it. Yeah.
And I kept going back. I kept going in circles in the KGB thing because you had to go to this one guy and you had to have a cigar to bribe him to get in this room, and then you had to go and find a prisoner. You had to kill him, and then finally that took days. That took me days.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite missions. That one, I love that one.
That took days. Yeah.
So you did beat it. You did beat the game in the end, or what?
Now I've done. Yeah, I've been through the camp. I've been through the campaign 3 or 4 times now, but I got on. I got into the multiplayer because my buddy C-Pain, Chris, was playing multiplayer, so he was my only friend. He's my only friend because we can't leak our gamer tags, can we? No, because we'll say the wrong thing and somebody's not going to like it.
Yeah, I know.
He's my only friend, so him and I we were playing a lot. We still do.
Oh, nice.
So we're playing a lot of. He loves Nuketown.
So do I.
He's really good. I love Nuketown too. I'm a Prestige 6, like 111 right now, 112.
Oh wow! So you put some time in, yeah.
I put a little time in. He's a Prestige 7, like 120 or something like that now.
Okay.
He's better than me. He'll have 40 kills. He'll go 40, 48 kills, 12 deaths. He'll have some killer games. I'm still figuring out all the buttons, man. I still Simtex myself. I'll throw a Simtex to a wall right in front of my face and blow up, I rock the stoner. I know the stoner's a beginner gun. You know how slow you run. You know how slow you run with that stoner, man. You're like, you move slow. But you know why I like it? It's got a ton of bullets and you don't have to worry about reloading. You do have to keep reloading. You better be somewhere safe because it's going to take you.
I can just imagine you spraying this thing in Nuketown. Body's just
all
going.
over the place. Yeah, I'm up in like the yellow house, looking across at the greenhouse. I know as soon as I see that flashlight, sniper, I'm done.
I love it.
I got to work on my.
I love it.
I got to work on my snipe. I got to work on my sniping. My sniping is weak because I'll rock the stoner. I've been rocking the AK, what is it? The 47U.
Yeah, exactly.
What the?
AK-47U, yeah.
AK-47U.
Yeah.
I rock that. God, what else was I rocking? I rocked.
Any submachines, guns?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Fuck, what it was. You know what? I made a list and wrote it down somewhere, and I don't know what the. I don't know what the hell. I don't know what the hell I did with it.
That's
the stoner. Of course, I tried the Mac 10.
Oh yeah.
The Krieg 6. I built that up. I got the stoner.
So you really know your shit.
I played the stoner. I got the stoner to max level, right? And I've got 7 attachments because I've got that the perk.
Yeah.
But I just need to. My aim needs to get a little better.
So you're gonna pick up a PS5 soon or what?
I don't. Do I need one?
Probably not.
I don't know.
Probably.
I don't
not.
know.
Yeah.
I don't know if I need one. I don't know if I need one. I mean, I need to focus on. I need to focus on getting some more. I need to focus on getting work. Instead of being an unemployed actor.
Yeah. 100%.
But I definitely need sniper help because my sniper stuff, man. If you can rock that sniper, and that's why I don't have Warzone, so I haven't been able to drop in Warzone.
Oh, you
yet.
haven't played? No.
So, well, first off, I think I have to buy it, but I was playing with the other night. I was playing with DK Dynamite, who I'm gonna actually do I'm gonna stream. I'm gonna start doing some streams with DK.
Oh, you are?
We're
Nice.
gonna play together because he did a stream last week with Stitch.
MJ, he was just here before.
MJ. So
Yeah.
I met MJ. They were doing a live stream, and I was actually busy that day, but I dropped in and said hello and introduced myself. And then MJ messaged me, dude. He seems like a super cool guy. So we're gonna get some streams going here, and I guess my gamer tag's gonna be out there soon. That's what I'm saying.
Oh,
so,
nice. So that's happening soon?
Yeah, I mean, we haven't planned it yet because DK's just kind of showing me around, and the stuff that he showed me the other day, like, because I hadn't played much zombies, but he introduced me to like some zombie stuff. We're doing like the Onslaught Nuketown.
Yeah.
Play that?
Yeah.
Onslaught. We did Onslaught Nuketown, and I'm like, how long can this last? And he's like, you can just keep going. I'm like, it never ends. He goes, no, you just keep going for hours. I'm like, can you pause the game? And like, if you have, he goes, nope, you just got to keep playing. I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah.
But he introduced me to Fireteam Dirty Bomb, which I'd played Fireteam Dirty Bomb before, but I didn't know it was going in. I loved it. This huge map, you drop in and you got to go and find the nuclear stuff. But I just kept running around. I'd get on a motorcycle for a fun ride and I'd get sniped, and I didn't know how to play. Obviously you got to play on comms with a team and have a plan. So
Yeah.
DK and I dropped in Fireteam Dirty Bomb, and he's like, all right, follow me, pick this up. And, every time I'd get hurt, he'd revive me. He was right there. And he's like, all right, great job. You killed that guy. So he's walking me through, helping me with some of this stuff.
Oh, that's awesome. That's great.
Which is a big, big, big help.
I'll have to check that out when you guys do that.
Yeah.
That'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And I know we got on this. You asked about the onions, and once again we went somewhere else. So back to the onions thing, man. Yeah, with that, I had heard about that. People were saying, dude, what's up with this onion thing? And they're like, dude, you're taking a lot of heat. Like, you're taking a lot of heat, man. Oh, they really they fucking hate you. I'm like, well, that's price of doing business, I guess.
I think the younger audience are a bit more aggressive, you know what I mean? Like the 10, 11, 12-year-olds. I think older people understand,
Understand what? What do you mean?
Well, I mean that it's really just a throwaway line. There's nothing really.
Oh, right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's just.
Yeah, but you listen to think, you listen to the line. It's like, he's like Mason tells me like, yeah. I'm like, we do this real quiet, and he's like, yeah, you're the master of quiet. Like, that's a funny line.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm a goddamn onion, Mason. And I'm like, listen to the line, like, does it make sense? I mean, no, I don't think it does. Does it make sense that Woods is going to rock a Christmas sweater? Does it make sense Woods is going to rock a Christmas sweater? I like it.
Yeah.
Did other people did the other, I'm not going to talk about other actors, but did other actors, that used to play my character, are they going to bust my balls about it? Well, of course they are. Like, the only thing I like the Christmas sweater because they hung the mistletoe right on his belt buckle.
Yeah.
And that was a genius thing. And I didn't see that for days. Somebody else had pointed that out to me. And I said, what do you mean the mistletoe? They're like, I love the mistletoe. I'm like, what do you mean? They're like, look at his belt buckle. I'm like, oh, I looked. I'm like, holy shit. They hung the mistletoe on his belt buckle. That's hilarious.
So are you excited for because, let's hope that you get to reprise the role in the next game. Hopefully there's a sequel.
Yeah.
You would think so. But you never know.
Yeah.
Are you excited to come back and keep going?
Extremely excited, man.
Yeah.
This is what a great gig. What a great group of people. Not only, Activision and Treyarch, and working with, Raven and Formosa, and working with Amanda Wyatt, Dan Lawfer.
Oh yeah.
If I get to work with these dudes, if I get a chance to work with Reggie and Bruce again, that would be amazing. And I'd love to work, C-Pain. I'd love to work with him because C-Pain's not in a lot of the game right now, and I don't know. You might know the answer to this. I know they release different seasons. Do they release new characters every year throughout the year, or how do they do that? How do they go about doing that?
They do, yeah. He could pop up. So, but I don't know. Mason's a tricky one because he was a playable character for
right.
A lot of it, isn't he? In the old games. So I don't know. I could see personally. I could see in the sequel, the next Black Ops game, you and him getting a lot more work and really fleshing out that friendship. And so if I was a betting man, because Park and Lazar, I only found out the other day that in the canon, like, Lazar's gone, he's dead. Park's the one that survives.
Well, yeah, like I have that line, that's one of my lines. Like, shit, where was it? It was like, God, I forget which mission it was. But we're rolling in, and Adler says something to me about this, and I'm like, I wouldn't miss this for the world. I'm gonna make those I'm gonna make those motherfuckers pay for Ice and Lazar.
That's right. Yeah.
I say that. And there's that one part where you're on the rooftop and you've gotta save Park.
That's
or
what I'm
Lazar.
saying. Yeah.
So I think I've done that. Like I said, I've been there. I've done that part at least 3 times, and I think the first time I got Park, second time I got Lazar, the third time I just took right off. I took right off and left him. I took right off and left him. I felt like shit because those guys were peppering me because at this point I've upped it. I'm not on recruit level anymore because I know a little bit more about what I'm doing, but I felt like shit, man. I'm like, God, I know I'm safe and I'm flying away and I'm leaving Park with Lazar. This is terrible.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, she's in Warzone. That's why he's not in Warzone, because he's technically dead.
Right.
So I don't know if we'll see him returning. Sad face, but yeah, I could see you and Lily and Reggie and Bruce. I mean, that'd be awesome, because I think it's just a really good group of people. You're all legends, and the camaraderie shows. And I think if they're given a bit more time, because the campaign is short, I would have loved to see a few more missions with yourself and whoever.
Yeah.
But
do you think if we wouldn't have been bound by the COVID, do you think
it would have been longer? Yeah, exactly.
Sure.
Because I think Cold War was supposed to come out this year. I'm pretty sure, and they pushed it forward because the other Call of Duty game was in a bit of trouble. I think that's how it worked, but this is hearsay. But there's a 3-year cycle, so I mean, if you're gonna be in the next game, you'll probably be starting next year, or you'll get a call pretty soon, I reckon. Although you're still on the Warzone. I mean, you're still in the Warzone cutscene, so that's still got another 4 seasons, doesn't it?
Dude, I'd love a call this week. I'd love a call this week. If you could put a word in.
Yeah.
I'd call to get back to work, man.
Well, Woods is. I mean, you've just been established as Woods. He's like one of the most well-known characters. I think you're pretty safe, man. I don't see Woods dying. That's for sure. Do you know what I mean?
Well, you can kill me, right? I mean.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Legend. What, James? Hats off to James, because
yeah,
I know he's got tons of fans, and I know he's really involved in this world, and he's got his he's got a lot of passion for it, and hats off to him for doing for doing all that, and hats off to him for creating such a badass character. It's such a fun character, man. I mean, to be able to be an aggressive smart ass is great, I'm a smart ass in real life. I'm not aggressive. I'm not some tough guy, but I sure do love playing a tough guy, man.
So
It's
before I let you go, I'll give you a couple more. Do you see yourself doing more video games now? Now you've got the itch?
I got the itch. Yeah, I'm trying. Like I just did an on camera
Self-tape?
audition,
Yeah.
self tape the other day. Last week
For a
one.
game?
Well,
Yeah.
for a game.
Nice.
For a new game, big game coming out. I don't know. Of course, they say big game. You don't know the name, so we'll see what happens. And like I said, I'm currently looking for a new on camera agent. I want to get back to doing
Oh, nice.
doing some film. So I've got the wheels in motion to do that.
Yeah, were you on the set of Westworld? Did I see?
I was, dude.
Wow.
I was with Ed Harris, man.
That's crazy, man.
Ed Harris, who was Hudson for a while, right?
Yeah. How crazy is that? That's just,
Yeah.
What was that like?
That was crazy because it was a night shoot, man, and we're downtown at the. I don't know if I could say the studio, but they shoot everywhere because Westworld, they have like a Western part that they shoot out at a ranch north of LA where they get the Western stuff in. And then I was in I was playing like a psych ward character walking around. And here's Ed Harris, man. He's still Ed Harris sitting there smoking his cigarettes, just kind of pacing around.
Hasn't changed.
Cool. Of course, I said hello to him. I was like, "What's up, man? How you doing?" No, I didn't go up to I don't go over the top, when I see somebody like that. But that's the thing, I was doing extra work to get my SAG to get some health insurance, and now if I'm going to get on camera work, I gotta stop doing extra work, because if you're an extra or any kind of background performer or day player or something on a show, they're not going to have, if they see your headshot or they see your resume and your agent submits you for that, then they're not going to have you in, because there's a chance some fan is going to go and be like, 3 episodes ago, this dude was sitting at the end of the bar talking to somebody, and now he's an FBI agent or a cop. I get called a lot to play, FBI agents and cops. I guess it's because my short hair, and I don't know. I guess it's kind of my look. Kind of maybe that's my typecast. So in finding a new on-camera agent, so I'm gonna have to slow down, and stop doing so much background stuff.
Yeah.
So
Well,
personally,
man, I hope to see you in more games, just quietly. I think you got a great presence on screen, great voice, and just hearing some of the voices you put on before, I know you're versatile. That's for sure.
Well, yeah, I've got a few. I mean, growing up in the South, it's funny. I got an on camera audition for this film shooting in Georgia, and it's in this town called Sonoya, and it's right next to the town I grew up in, and it's for a sheriff. It's for a Southern sheriff with a Southern accent. So I'm just gonna have to, turn on my Southern drawl and just get it working. See how far they want me to go.
I didn't even notice you turned then. You just seamlessly did it.
But I do have some. I have this. I have a Q&A coming up that I'd like to actually. My only thing coming up that I could promote.
Yeah.
I'm doing this thing called GalaxyCon.
Nice.
Me and the Cold War cast are doing it. GalaxyCon.com. We're doing it on Sunday, April the 11th. At 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific. Is that right? 4 p.m. Yeah, April the 11th, Sunday, April the 11th, 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and there's going to be Q&A with the whole cast. All of us are going to be on, I guess, a Zoom like this.
Oh, that'll be cool.
We're doing that, and then afterwards, there's going to be some like video chats where you can do one-on-one video chats with character of your choice, and some autograph signings of certain things, pictures. People can send in stuff like characters, or they can send in stuff for you to sign. They can send in a machine gun for you to sign. Anyway, I just want to promote.
Yeah, definitely. Everyone check that out. And also follow Damon on Twitter and Instagram. Damon V. Allen _ Is that right?
Yeah, Damon V. Allen _
Yeah.
And the Damon, the Damon Victor Allen, that is my full name. I mean, my dad's name was Vic, so Damon Victor Allen is my real name. I've got 3 first names, right?
Same here. Dan John Allen.
Oh yeah. Dude, you and I have more in common, man.
Oh, I know.
No. But I recently, my SAG card says Damon Victor Allen because there was already a Damon Allen.
Oh, is that why? I wondered why that happens. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think I'm listed in the game in Call of Duty as just Damon Allen. That's what I go by, Damon Allen. But
okay, I'll change it. I'll change because I've
no,
got it. Don't change it.
You keep it as Damon Victor Allen because that's what I put up on my social stuff. So,
okay.
And that's what it's under. It's what like IMDb and stuff. It's under Damon Victor Allen.
Okay, cool.
Whatever. Yes, please. Yeah, I know. Yeah, hook up. Hit me up on my socials, man. I'm not the sharpest with the social stuff. Yesterday, you sent me all that good stuff to post, and man,
you got it done. You got it done.
I spent 2 hours, man. I spent 2 hours. It's been so long, I forgot how to do. I'm like, how do I do a story? So first, I copied your story, and then I did mine. Then I created a story, and there was this one Led Zeppelin song I wanted to use, but they didn't have it. It's called the Wanton song. Really heavy, great Bonham beat to it, and I guess
you got one on though.
What?
You got a song on?
Oh yeah, I put a Stone song on there, But I got it done. But it took me like 2 hours, man. I'm so slow with that stuff. I'm slow with responding and all that, but hit me up, man. I'll do my damnedest to get back to you. Man, I really appreciate all the love, man. And Dan, I appreciate you having me on, man. It's been a lot of fun,
dude,
bro.
It's been a pleasure, man. Really nice to chat for you for the last few hours. Thank you so much for the time, man.
Yeah, you're badass, dude. You're really good at what you do, man. Really good.
I appreciate it, brother. You too. And I can't wait to get you back again when you're in the next Black Ops, eh? Or when you get that gig that you just auditioned for.
Well, let's hope. Here's the hoping, man. Here's the hoping.
Oh, well, it's been a pleasure, man. Before I let you go, is there anything Woods can say to Dan, or what? Can he come alive?
Yeah, can Dan? What do you want to like a plug? Like, you better tune in to Dan Allen Gaming, or else. I don't know. You want to tag or
whatever you want, man. Whatever comes to your mind. Whatever you want. Whatever comes to your mind.
Tune in to Dan Allen Gaming, or else I'm coming after you. You're fucking down.
Thank you, man. No, that's awesome. I think people love to hear the voice. And by the way, when you come down to Australia, we'll hit up Royal Melbourne for a game, eh?
Dude. Love to, man. I love to, dude. I've been dying. I'd love to come, I'd love to come down there for the Australian Open sometime.
Yeah.
The heat they play in, man, it's 110 degrees on that court. What's that, like 375 Celsius for you or something like that?
Yeah, it's a lot. Yeah,
I know, it's like 43 Celsius probably.
Yeah.
But the conditions they play in.
Oh yeah, because you're a big tennis fan, aren't you? Obviously played it. Yeah. Bloody Novak just wins every time though. That's the only problem. You just can't stop him.
Novak's on a roll. He's a machine, man. He kind of reminds me of Lendl back in the day. I was a McEnroe fan growing up.
Oh, me too.
Yeah, that was my boy. I like McEnroe, and McEnroe's hero was Rod Laver, so I always liked Rod Laver.
Yeah. Yeah.
fellow Aussie.
Yeah,
Fellow
100%.
Aussie.
All right, mate, I'll let you go. But again, it's been an absolute pleasure. And guys, make sure you follow Damon on Instagram, Twitter. Give him some love. And yeah, man, have a great day.
Man, you too, brother. I appreciate it.
And we'll drop into multiplayer soon.
Yeah, is your gamer tag? Is it online?
I'll
Is it
shoot
on
it
your-
to you. I'll shoot it to you offline.
Shoot it to me, because I'm practicing. I'm gonna be practicing with that sniper. I got to get that sniper. I got to get that sniper rolling, man.
That's all right. No, we'll get the sniper going. And if you ever
All
need
right.
social media help, reach out as well, man. I'm more than happy to help you.
Well, thank you. I really appreciate that, Dan.
Take care, mate. Have a great day.
You too, brother. Talk to you soon. Later on.
It appears subject's programming is beginning to take hold.
What happened there? Guys, there it is. Damon Victor Adler. I hope you enjoyed that one. Really, really great guy. Really great guy. It was really nice to chat to him. We had him for about 2 hours. I mean, very gracious with his time as well. Very, very gracious. We really appreciate it. And I hope you two enjoyed it. Both are badass. That's exactly right. 100%. Exactly right. All right, guys, I'm going to leave you there. As always, you can follow me on all social medias, Instagram, Twitter. Leave a like on the video. Really appreciate it. And take care, guys. Have a great rest of your day.